Today we're going to be drawing part of my Dreamhouse series, which is a series I've been doing lately, combining my long history of painting house portraits for commissions and my love of all things fantasy. Let's get started. We're just going to see about this side angle. I might change it to an overhead, but since it's small pencil, maybe easier to see if I draw this way. These are the old ones. Last one I did, loved that. I think I'm gonna do kind of a swamp one this time again because I'm in New Orleans right now and all the clouds have been really big, like cumulus storm clouds because it's summer. This is my pencil. I don't want to buy a new one. I'm just not into it. Okay, so let's see. I'll scoot over here. What I usually do is I imagine sort of a fuzzy type of dreamy scene that has like very few specifics in my mind yet. It just is sort of a vague outline of a house and clouds and whatever. And I do that just to sort of get, oh my lord, in the right headspace. So we're just gonna start. Let's just start with a little house. I want this one to be low, the landscape to be low, instead of on a mountain. The mountains, I would start the house up here somewhere. So let's start the house sort of low. I'm a fan of them on this sort of far side, so I feel like this side today. And I want to do a house that's kind of, I don't know, a little more weird than I usually do. So, I mean, let's make it just a house, but kind of tall and skinny. And I want them to stay pretty simple because these are kind of in the style of like a ukiyo-e wood block, so I don't want them to be realistic per se. But I do want them to evoke some kind of mysticism that might exist, but maybe in a fantasy land. So I've got the tall house here. I think I'm gonna do like a 2-story thing. So this can be the window. You get like a swamp princess house. This can be the bottom door here. Maybe make this like a nice little window box sill. Yeah, it could be a little sill. Windowsill. S-I-L-L, is that it? Okay, cool. So we have our house here. That's great. That's kind of the beginning. This one's okay. I like it. It could be taller maybe, but we'll do that next time. So I have my house and I want it to be a lowland, so like a swampland. So let's just start making shapes here. And what I do is just sort of do my eraser, because the good thing about these drawings is that because they're from my mind, I don't really need to look like any specific image. And that's great because I can just do sort of squiggly line cuts like this. And I love these because they remind me of the clouds in the south and of woodblock art prints from Japan and, well, a lot of countries. So these are kind of squiggly. Let's just make this down here. I like the first hill, but not the second one. So we'll erase that. Just continue. This is okay. Let's make it more dynamic by just adding in another line here. Cool, that's fine. It's a little more squiggly than I was thinking at the beginning, but let's just make this go here. Maybe it's like a rocky, I don't know, hill before the swamp. Okay, this is fine. This is just one line. So I'm gonna start making other lines to cut the scene, cut the landscape, I mean. Just take your time. Good thing about these are they can really go wherever you want them to go. I see kind of a blank space. I might want to fill it in. These just sort of move off on their own. So I like this little cliff here. And I want to make a tree, so let's start the tree trunk. I like the trees that are sort of look like they're twisting, like the Whomping Willow. And then I just cut the tree, make the shape so that it's sort of hanging off the cliff. And it can have some branches, or it can be really leafy, and then you just leave the branches out. But this one can have a few branches. Like it's a live oak tree. I lost some of the cliff, so I'll just go back in and redefine it. And its roots might come off a little. Now we have our first tree. And that's pretty good. I like that. It's simple. It feels like there's space, which is important because sometimes these get too busy. Like this one got a little busy, which is okay, but I prefer when there's more space. So maybe this one I'll try to make it not so much going on here because I want the clouds to take up most of the scene, because I saw some clouds last night that were so beautiful. They just went up and up like this and all the way up. So I want to do a bit more by the house because the house is alone here. So let's make a tree, I think here. Little tree. Great. Sometimes I like the trees to be sort of tall. And if I don't like the shape exactly, you can come in and do some more shapes on the side and the back. I really do need some more new erasers. These are crap. So then I'll go in and erase the line I had before. Hopefully your eraser's better than mine and it actually does what it's supposed to do. That's fine. This one's pretty standard, like it's kind of boring in my opinion. So I want it to sort of be more craggy, more wonky. So make the squigglies a little more squiggly. That's fine. Okay, great. That's really nice. I do want to break this up so that it doesn't look so much like I just drew the second line there. Let's put that. Great, that's nice. It's kind of classic. It could lean a little more, so maybe there. No, I like it how it is. So let's just keep that. We'll just make that line like part of the mountain. No, that's too much going on there. It's not simple enough. So we'll just go back in here and make the tree kind of fall into the page there. Perfect. Okay, that's great. Nice, lovely. Now we have our first sort of scene. We have a tall house with a tree. One tree coming off over here. I wouldn't mind a little tree here. So let's do a little tree. And it can have sort of a different direction. Kind of split up. Shape of it. That's okay. I wouldn't mind it going more out here. If it follows the line of the land too closely, then it gets lost. So I try to just minimize that. It needs to go under or over. This one I think will go over. Make it kind of up here. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, great. Now we have a nice little tree. And again, that was getting lost in the line there, so we'll just remake lines. That's fine if it touches a little. Don't mind that. This one could have maybe another tree here because by itself is kind of missing something, so we'll just make a little sister tree there. Okay, they're kind of getting lost. In the mountain line here, so let's bring this down. And this one can also do a little, so that the shape of the tree doesn't get too lost in well, now it's more like a bush. Let's see if that works. Yeah, I like it. Now it's like the tree's kind of sitting. Nope, it's too busy. I really want to focus on simplicity for these. Not too much going on. So So let's just take the tree back and we'll redo the mountain here. Okay, that's nice. So now they're kind of separate. Cool. That's really cute. Kind of nice balance. So now I have to decide where I want the elements of these paintings to be placed. So the elements are the house, trees, the land, and then I do a moon, I have clouds, and then I have my figure and their familiar walking on some path. So this doesn't have any paths yet. And I'm just wondering, because I do want to keep this low, like I think I want this to be the only landscape land that we have in this one, so that the focus is on the clouds, but then I do need sort of one path. Or it could be a bridge. I could do a lake. Like I could make this a low body of water. Let's see if this makes it too busy. So if this is water, which is fine, I have to make sure it looks low enough to be water. I think it's a little too high. So maybe if it was like here, and then the shoreline was kind of there. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't know if it's clear that it's water, so let's outline the shore a little bit more. Yeah, it's all right. I think if I just make the lines cleaner. It's like with water, if there's too much, like with a water horizon line, if it's too bent or curved, it's not believable that it's water, because far away water will be pretty flat. Unless you're doing sort of like a fantasy rendition, roundedness, but this one, okay, I like this. And this little cliff here is really nice. And we want it to be pretty clean, but the water will have some ripples. Okay, cool. So now it's like a house on the side of a lake. And we'll just draw these back. I want to decide now if I need this to be part of the path, like maybe the person will be here somehow. And the path might go like down over to the house down here. That's probably the easiest. Or I could do a little stair. Yeah, okay, so let's do a little stairs along the edge of this cliff, because that looks like a nice place to have stairs. And with the stairs, I sometimes try to make them like not the line not all the way across. Yeah, that's cool. And then we could have a little ledge right here. So now we have the beginnings of our path. And the paths, they're great because it's like a real true path. Sometimes there are places in the path that cut out. And it's nice to reflect that. So this stairwell will just be sort of out here by itself. And you can imagine that it would come over to this outcrop on its own. So then I want to make the path so that it doesn't overwhelm the scene. It shouldn't be the main focal point. So this one especially, it can sort of weave in and out. We can imagine that it's connecting. Over here, I do want to figure out where I want them. This is kind of flat, so it could be here where they're walking. So if the path kind of went like, just don't want it to get too busy. So I'm really trying to not make more lines. So what could we do? We could have we could have the person here, I guess, like they're about to walk down. I like to make their cape pretty flowy because it's mystical. So we could have that. Just to make sure that the person is visible. So they're like stepping down. So their little hair. I like them to have long hair because it's blowy in the breeze. Okay, cool. That looks like they're kind of stepping down. Their foot kind of up there. Nice. Now I'm kind of stuck because I want to keep the movement. Sometimes the front of the body, I don't know what to do with the arms. It's easy if they have like a stick or a cane with them. It's getting really small. And hopefully you can figure out a way to just make the easiest lines. Okay, that's fine because that's like they're striding down and that looks pretty cool. They don't really need a staff if they're swinging their arm that way. And so then just make sure the cape, that's lovely. Okay, I think this one will not have a hat. I did a hawk familiar last time with a cat, so maybe this time. I like when the familiar's in front of them, like they're leading and they're looking back. It's kind of like the bond of the familiar, like they know where to go. They're just checking if they're like witches back there. But I don't think there's enough space here that it wouldn't get confused with that line there. If we did the bird, it would have to be like here. And that could be nice. Yeah, I like that. simple. It leaves room for imagining the path, which is cool. So I'll just make a few more sort of, these aren't stairs if they're going the wrong way, sort of stairs this way. And maybe this can sort of come up like it's, oh yeah, that's nice. Like you're walking straight up to the house. Cool. Okay, that's great. No, I'm just kind of wondering, like, I like when there's a dog or a cat. I wonder if I could put them here without it getting too busy. It's really small though. I think I want to keep it simple. Just her and the falcon or hawk or whatever. Or them, I don't know. Yeah, it's nice. It has a nice movement. Like they're kind of in a hurry to get home. Sometimes I'll put the other familiar like near the house. So I could do the cat in the window. But I don't think I will. I think for this one, I just kind of want to leave it really simple. And this is nice, so. Great, we have our figure. We have our familiar, our path. And this path is really minimal. Usually I do more of the path, but I don't know, I like it. And so next I'll do the moon, and I think I want to make it really big this time, like a super fantasy size moon, like the whole page. And we'll do big clouds, and the clouds will be most of the drama of this scene. So cool. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 2. Okay, bye.